Hello, fine people of the internet. I'm Chris Simmons, and this is The Size of Our Shoes. This program is dedicated to action, awareness, and advocacy about climate change. Is an eco-conscious lifestyle something you have the desire to get started with, but don't exactly know where to begin? Well, subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you can stay up to date with all of the new videos and suggestions on how to live a more eco-friendly life. Speaking of which, today's episode focuses on action. There are 4 levels of action: minor actions or everyday type changes. Manageable actions. These things include lifestyle changes, grow an herb garden, or fill your home with green products. There are significant changes. These include larger scale sacrifices, like buying a hybrid or going vegan, but can have a huge impact on your personal carbon footprint. Finally, there are massive actions. These actions are usually reserved for the incredibly wealthy or governments, things that could make lasting and communal change on the world. But on today's episode, I'd like to tell you about a massive action that we could all make today. I'm talking about the role that banks play in funding the fossil fuel industry. I'll outline the problem, which banks to avoid, and then stick around to the end where I will tell you about 2 nationally recognized banks that are more focused on progress than funding fossil fuels. Stick around. Under a mattress, buried in a can in the backyard, tied up in gold or stocks, there are many things that we can do with our money, the most popular of which, of course, is to put it in a bank. In 2019, 95% of people in the US have bank accounts. And it makes sense. It's insured so you can't lose it, and it also accrues interest, which means it grows over time. But the question is, what happens to it while it's there? And is it in line with your values or vision of the future? Of course, banks use the money that you put into them, and they make loans or investments in an array of different projects. Sometimes your money is used to make a small business loan or to support a wind or solar farm. And sometimes your money is used to invest in industries and practices that are detrimental to the future of humankind. 35 large banks the world over are responsible for nearly $2.7 trillion in funding for fossil fuels since the 2016 Climate Accord. This money goes to projects for Arctic drilling, deep sea mining, tar sands, fracking, and more. The following are figures from a report done by the Rainforest Action Network. I'll link the report in the description. JP Morgan and Chase topped the list with $268 billion in financing since 2016, followed closely by Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Bank of America. These banks, unfortunately, have the power and the money to keep making these investments. JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Citibank, Bank of America, TD, Morgan Stanley, and Goldman Sachs hold nearly half of the bank accounts in America. They say to vote with your dollar. Taking your money from these banks and placing them in hands that will fund ethical and clean projects are one of the most massive actions that we as individuals can take. We have the power to invest in our future, to literally put our money where our mouths are. Together, we can show these large banks that we're more interested in progress than we are of maintaining this ridiculous status quo. Make some calls to local banks and see who's offering the most competitive rates in your area. Make your voice heard and your values known. You don't think you can make a difference? This is one of the most effective ways that you can. Stand up for what you believe in before it's too late. Hello everyone, thanks for sticking around. As promised, I'm going to give you 2 suggestions of banks that you can start backing today. Neither of these banks were on the Rainforest Action Network's list, nor are they subsidiaries or parent companies of any of the banks on the list. U.S. Bank, or Bancorp. Originating as the U.S. Bank of Portland in 1891, now has over 3,000 branches nationwide and 4,700 ATMs. Truist Bank. This bank is the product of the merger of BB&T and SunTrust in 2019. It has over 2,000 branches nationally and has an initiative to invest in innovative technologies to create new products and services to improve the lives of their customers, says CEO Kelly King. In addition to these nationally recognized banks, I pretty much guarantee you that there are a few banks in your area that are FDIC insured and offer competitive interest rates. As long as they don't have a history of funding fossil fuels, they are, without a doubt, a much better option for our future.